That gives me a little spike. All right.
No ums this time.
I'm going to say way too many times. So many people commented on my ums.
Really?
Yes. And I know I have a problem. Welcome back to the Eminem podcast. It's episode 2. We've decided to name it Sneak Speak. Get it? Sneakers. We're
Yes,
speaking.
sir.
Speaking about sneakers. Okay, whatever. Today, we got me and Mason. We're missing the rest of our team, but we do have a guest today. I'll let him introduce himself. I met him in my first couple of weeks at Long Beach. I met him through Instagram, and we've been chilling at Long Beach ever since. We are known for being the kings of brick flips, where we're from, where we, quote, loop the place. So, Bryan, tell the people your name, age, we know where you go to school, and how you got into selling shoes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bryan. I met Mateo my second year of college. So Mateo's first year of college at Long Beach. He DM'd me on Instagram saying, "Hey, man, do you go to Long Beach State?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He hits me up saying, "Hey, you want to grab some food one day?" I said, "Yeah, fuck it." And then the rest is history. From there, just like we sparked a good friendship. We did deals together, and then we started going to like stores and like getting like new releases, getting like brick flips, stuff like that. And yeah, man, I've been reselling for the past 2 years. So summer of 2018. Now it's just like ever since I got my car, everything's picked up and just getting better and better at it each day.
You said once you got your car, everything picked up?
Yeah, once I got my car, everything just got a lot better for me. I was able to like just camp out, go to releases, not have to rely on my brother to like take me to shit or my parents. I was able to be more independent, and from there I was able to make way more money just having my car.
That's facts too. A lot of like kids will like reach out to me or just I see like a lot of younger people reach out to older people and be like, "What's the key?" And honestly, the key is a car. Being able to like drive wherever. I remember Bryan told me, because basically Bryan told me there was a release and it was like 40 minutes away. You remember this one? It was in Pasadena.
Oh, that Nike store?
Yeah. And so whatever. I'll just say everybody knows the Nike at Glendale.
Oh,
right?
the Glendale one. Yeah. Okay, that one's fine.
Yeah. So we went there. So we went to Nike at Glendale. We literally just hopped in our car in like 10 minutes. But if I didn't have a car, then we wouldn't have been able to drive 40 minutes out there and get some bread fours.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. So like you can definitely resell under the age of 16. But like as you get older, you just get a lot more accessibility, you know?
Yeah, also, hey guys, it's Mason. I was here in the last episode, but anyways, yeah, I agree. It's definitely helpful, especially when you want to go meet someone for a meetup to sell. Like, that's definitely good. You don't want to make someone drive you to go do that.
Yeah. So today, we're gonna start it off with some hot debates. We didn't really touch on those in last episode, and we talked a lot about like smart investments, and we'll get to that in the end. But after debates, I want to go over a little bit of Q&A, some questions that I've gotten in the DMs that hopefully we can answer, and we'll see if what we have time for.
It goes down in the DMs.
Yeah, but we'll hop right into it. So we're both like, I would say our main platform for both of us is Instagram. Would you agree, Bryan?
Actually, for me, like, I guess you can say like my popularity, my followers are all from Instagram.
Yeah.
But most of my business just straight up comes from OfferUp nowadays. Like I sell most things from OfferUps. If not everything comes from OfferUp now. Like I just use my Instagram just to post like the shoes I have, like I guess just for looks. But I usually just get lowballs, just kids just fucking bombarding me with like stupid DMs, so I don't even bother selling there anymore.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into like what other platforms that we're using other than Instagram in a second. But I want to start with this thing called safeties on Instagram. And we see it a lot where people will post on their stories, like people will make a deal and then they post on their stories basically this like contract that says, you, Bryan, will be shipping me Jordan 1s for this price on this day. And like if everything's correct, say correct. And then they say correct in the DMs. But like, and people are always posting safeties and like relying on those for people to for like the buyers or the sellers to keep their word. But people have asked me like, so what does safeties do? They don't do anything.
They're not legally binding at all. So
they're just like text messages saying that like, because you can easily say that you'll ship something and then just not ship it. Like safeties don't do anything. And I just want to put it out there for like everybody that's like wondering what the point of a safety. Like it doesn't really add anything.
Well, it doesn't add anything for keeping someone reliable. It adds like so you know exactly what the process is going to be and what the trade or the purchase is going to be, but it doesn't it doesn't prevent them from flaking or anything, which happens very often.
Brian, you have any input on that?
Yeah, regards to safeties, like for me, I think like they help or like just give the impression that like they're legit. Because if you like were a scammer, you wouldn't do a safety at all because another person would be putting on their platform like, hey, like I'm supposed to be doing business with this person. Here's the proof of like this should go through. If not, like you can go back to the screenshot or the DM showing that should have been business done or like the shoe should have been shipped or and vice versa. Like they help, but like there's not end all be all.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like it produces confidence in the seller, not so much the buyer, but yeah, in the seller for sure.
And so people always ask, well, if the safety like how do you be safe? Because if that so-called safety doesn't really do anything, like how can you be safe on Instagram? And up until this point, I have been buying like strictly through PayPal goods and services. So basically what goods and services is you pay the buyer through PayPal and the buyer is charged a 3% fee. So if I pay Bryan $100 for shoes, Brian's only going to receive 97 of those dollars, but that fee insures my package. So Bryan would usually be like, hey, can you send me $103 or $104 or something so that he can retain $100? But the reason the fee insures my package so that if the post office loses the package, if my product that I get is not if I don't receive it as it was described, or if it's inauthentic or anything goes wrong, then I can submit a claim. I can get my money back. I'll ship the shoes back to Bryan, and it's all legal that this happens. Like there's no discrepancies. Whereas if I pay through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, friends and family, not goods and services, Zelle, nothing is covered. You're just trusting that they will ship whatever they said they're going to ship and everything's going to be legit.
Yeah, for up and coming resellers, that's called gifting, and that's what a lot of resellers will ask you to do is just gift them the money. So if you can get them to do goods and services through PayPal, that's probably the safest way to go, or Meetup, of course.
And for me, and there's this thing called GUA, and I don't mean to call out some kid, but remember Mason a couple weeks ago when we were doing deal with that kid, and he kept sending voice memos instead of texting, which was fine, but he kept saying gua, and I was like, it's not gua, because it's spelled GUA, but GUA stands for gifted upon arrival, which is basically what you do with StockX and Goat and stuff, where you ship your product first, then they verify it, and then they send you your payment. But I hate that so much on Instagram because, again, nothing is safe. I can ship it to somebody and they can just never respond to me and they get my shoes for free.
You're setting yourself up for a scam.
The only time that I do that is when I'm buying off of like just a normal person that's not a reseller, because I have no idea like who they are. But sometimes like I'll still pay through goods and services sometimes if they don't want to do gifted upon arrival. I actually try to buy through goods and services. I just think it's like a better way, a more professional way to do business than do gifted upon arrival, because we don't have reputations like Goat and StockX do.
And a lot of people are not comfortable doing that.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
I just don't like. We are just small time, right? Like we don't deserve to be doing gifted upon arrival, and it's like it's the only way for us to be safe sometimes. But it's like there's two parties involved. It has to be safe for both ways, and I think goods and services through PayPal does that. I don't know of another payment plan, payment method that does that like PayPal does.
Yeah, for me, like when I used to like buy a lot on Instagram, I used to always just do Venmo or Cash App. That was pretty much it. Like I would never do like PayPal just because I didn't have a PayPal for the most part. I didn't like using it because like the extra like percent you'd have to pay as the buyer. But I always used to like do business PayPal with like Kix XPR. He's like the Puerto Rican plug of Instagram. So I'd always do PayPal with him because that's how he wanted it, and we always did business, so I knew he was legit. But when it comes to like these other kids, I used to run GUA, so I would pay them once they gave me the product. like once I got in hand. But I'll be buying like things that weren't as valuable. So I'll be buying like a lot of Bape shirts, Supreme backpacks, like nothing to the point where it's like, oh, this for sure you have to pay me first. Like plus I had like 2,000 followers for a lot of the time I was reselling. So I always had like a bunch of reps, like a good reputation. I'd always do safeties for them. So it was like I wouldn't ruin my reputation over like $200 type thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I've seen like people. I saw this. I'm gonna call him out. It was his Instagram tag is plug of RI, so like plug of Rhode Island, and the dude's at like 6,000 followers. He got hundreds of refs, but he's got caught slipping for scamming people for like $400-$500. So it literally does not matter how many references you have. It definitely helps show like how legit you are. It's like your review page, but you can never go wrong expecting the worst.
There's a lot more to a reseller than just the references that you have to look into.
Yeah. But, and just so we don't get it twisted, like in-person meetups, I don't really care what payment method because it's all right there. This is all just, what I'm talking about is all when you're shipping from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And it's just like an interesting topic to talk about. And I wanted to talk about it because PayPal is updating their policies for goods and services. And I wish I could find the post on it, but I can't find the text. But as of July, today is June 23rd. And as of July 31st, they're updating their policies. And one of the things in there says that items intended for resale or something will not be covered. And it's like a very quick sentence. There's a truck. Hold on. It's a very like brief sentence in the policies that they're updating. And I don't really know how that's going to affect resellers who sell through Instagram or other platforms. I've also heard that it's irrelevant, but I think it's like interesting. Like, why are they like, what's the point in them doing that? Like, no longer covering items intended for resale. I don't like, you know what I mean?
There's also a lot more resale going on than just sneakers and stuff.
Yeah, like I feel like pretty much everything is resale
Resold.
unless you're making it yourself.
Yeah.
Bryan.
Pretty much every good that you can sell on PayPal would be for resale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if how it will affect people until it comes. Like I always used to do PayPal invoice when it came to big purchases. I always used to do like goods and services with other people I didn't know. But if I did like a lot of business with you, then I do friends and family. Like I've never had to do a PayPal claim or ever had to like fight for like for what was right. So I never I never gotten shit from PayPal. So I never use PayPal. So like anymore, I don't buy on Instagram anymore. Like maybe in the future I will, but I actually do business with legit people. So I never gotten like scammed online from purchases. So
Yeah, I just think it was an interesting like update, and I'm not really sure. Like to be honest, I haven't really looked into it a ton. So if anybody's listening to this right now and you have more information, let me know because I'm curious. Because that's like my main method of buying is paying through goods and services. And also, if you're listening to this right now on Eminem Resell on Instagram, if you're listening to this right now and you get to this point, DM us goods and services. Just text us goods and services and we'll know that you listen to this and we'll appreciate you. What else? Oh, there's another thing. Other platforms. So Bryan, you were talking about OfferUp. So that's like your main source of where you get most of your sales?
yeah,
Like,
for me right
where
now,
else?
like especially like I be getting a lot of like the new release stuff. So like for example, World Toes, Flints, Hairs, like just most like the popular releases that just came out from like May when the shoe houses opened up. I've been able to get stuff for like day of releases and multiple. So for me, like people that pay the high are the people on OfferUp. Like for example, World Toes, I was charging like 300 day of release when their market was like 280. So like on OfferUp, I'm able to charge higher and sell it the day of and make way more rather than selling for like kids be asking me for payout on IG. I'm like, no, why would I take payout rather just fucking sell an OfferUp and make way more. So that basically like I have over like 60 or 70 sales on OfferUp, but like that really doesn't translate to referrals, like to refs on IG. So my like refs on IG are like what, like 40 something, Whereas my refs are like my 5-star reviews on OfferUp is way more. So for me, I'd rather just stick with OfferUp because I'm able to sell it. But then again, I'm not able to build that long-term relationship. Whereas Instagram, you can. So there's a trade-off.
Yeah, and I would agree that I'm probably making my margins are bigger on OfferUp than they are on Instagram. But the reason that I like Instagram and like Goat and StockX specifically is because I can post shoes in like 5-10 seconds, while StockX and Goat take probably the most fees out of anybody else. Like stuff sells on there pretty quick, and I actually get more money on there than what a normal person would pay me on Instagram. Even though there's no fees on Instagram, I might not like have anyone that's interested on Instagram. But I would say my main marketplaces are probably different than Mason, but my main marketplaces are probably OfferUp and Instagram, and then Goat, StockX, and Grailed. And then I have like other ones that I don't use as much. Like I don't use Let Go. Like I have Let Go and I've used it before. I've used Bump before, but I don't use them as much. Mercari and Poshmark. Poshmark actually has done good for me in the past. But what I've found is that like as I'm posting stuff, I don't even get a chance to get around to posting on these other apps or marketplaces because it's already sold by the time. Like I haven't even got like it's sold on Goat before I even have a chance to list it on OfferUp. And so Mason, what are your like platforms?
I always do. I post on Goat first, yeah, because the way you said it's the quickest to post. But I feel like on OfferUp, that's my second, or after Instagram, of course. But on OfferUp, that's probably the second thing I go to, and that sells pretty well for me. And there's no fees on there if you do Meetup. I've sold on Bump a lot actually, which is kind of random. But I hate Grailed and Bump because I get so many international people. Like nothing against international people, but it's just like shipping is so expensive.
It's like $40-$50 to ship, and then you have to wait for the US. If you're shipping out of the US, you have to wait like 2 weeks while it sits in customs.
And since it's so much more, the fees are so much heftier, so you have to raise your prices way up. So
but like I mean, like people will buy it. It's just like more effort, and like the thing with like, and with Instagram, like I'm not selling a lot through Instagram. Like in terms of volume, but Instagram is where I have like most of my interactions, and also it's just like a nice place for everybody to look at what you have. Because like on OfferUp, on eBay, I forgot about eBay. I'm trying to get into eBay, but like any of these other marketplaces, they have to search like, for example, Royal Toe Ones. They'd have to search for Royal Toe Ones and then find your listing. Whereas like Instagram, if somebody knows us personally and they're trying to be like, oh, I want to buy something, I'm going to see what Mateo has first, or Mason, or Eminem, or Bryan. I want to see what they have first before I go look for them anywhere else. Like it's a nice place for supporters to support. Whereas like Poshmark, you can kind of do the same thing. You can follow people. Other places you can like Grailed, I think you can follow.
You can
people
follow
on
a lot
Grailed.
of people on a lot of platforms.
But it just doesn't work the same.
Yeah.
Like Instagram is just like a lot of people on Instagram all the time, and it's just like very present and in your face.
Yeah, I agree with that. Instagram is good for the community and building relations, which is what Bryan said earlier too. But like the way I think about it for the fees on these apps is basically you're paying to get reach to a much wider audience. Like we have reach to probably around 3,000. We have 2,000 followers. We probably reach a little more than that. But when you're paying these fees on these apps, you're paying to reach millions on the Goat marketplace. So.
I'm not even sure, but I feel like Goat and StockX are international too.
Yeah. No, they are. StockX for sure. You just have to pay extra.
You have to pay extra?
No, StockX has a facility in Europe. They have a facility in New Jersey, Detroit, Phoenix, and then Europe. I don't know where the Europe location is, but yeah, they're international.
The buyer has to pay. So if you're an international buyer, then you have to pay extra? Because I don't have to pay extra
International
if I'm
buyers
somewhere
and sellers have to pay extra. Extra commission, and then buyer has like $30 in shipping.
Oh, what? Do you have to sign up for that?
No, like just wherever your address is located. You don't have to sign up.
I don't, because I've never had to pay. I've never experienced that where I had to pay extra, either buying or selling. But what? I don't know. I can't really speak on that. But good for them for being international. They need that. That's like, I mean, but that's what we're talking about. Like you have this international reach, and Whereas like, I mean, we could ship internationally like by ourselves, you know, through Grailed or Instagram, but we have to go through the process of like the customs
The
and
customs.
what's it called, a packing list. Like I had to fill out a packing list for Canada and paying a ton of extra more shipping just to get it across the border.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
So on this topic of platforms, I was telling Mason the other day that I think GOAT, like I think the main two sources to compare prices are like when you're trying to value your items have recently been StockX and GOAT. And it's because it's so easy to find prices. It's they make everything so easy. But the thing with GOAT is that up until recently, it's been strictly shoes. StockX has had their share of accessories, handbags, watches, clothing, and GOAT recently started uploading Supreme. They're still in the process of uploading everything, but as well as like other designer clothes. And I brought this up because I think it was on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. So a couple days ago on Saturday, I sold 3 pairs on GOAT in like an hour and a half or something. And like GOAT's just taking my money because people are buying off of GOAT. And I know Bryan was selling a lot on StockX and GOAT a while ago, right? Like you were shipping out a ton of shoes.
Yeah, like to be honest with you, like the past month I've shipped over 70 packages, either through mostly StockX and a few through GOAT. Like right now I've already hit the level 4 buyer on StockX, so I have bulk shipping now on StockX.
Oh, that's nice.
And then if I reach a certain threshold of sales, I have to pay taxes. I don't know if I hope I don't reach that this year. But looking at it, I might have to pay taxes from StockX. I think it's if you hit like $20,000 in sales, you have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, mostly just StockX, man, takes my money. All these brick flips. I'd rather just sell it right away and get the cash back a week later.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, me and Bryan or Eminem and Bryan's Instagram, by the way, is LA_LB sneakers. Wait,
LA_LB_ sneakers. Yeah.
But I think we're pretty much similar, but I think where we differ, and we've talked about this, where we differ is that Bryan is more willing to get less cash or less profit to get the cash in hand quicker. I'm more willing to wait an extra week or two to get the extra $30 to $20. And I think I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It's just like whatever you prefer. But
yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like, there's been times where like I know I could have made more in a shoe. Like for example, I sold a Flint 13 for like $240. I know it could have made like $260 if I waited an extra week. I'm just like I need the cash to pay back my credit card bills because all these brick flips.
Yeah.
I need like cash because like I don't want to be like there's been days I woke up with only $20 in my bank account. I don't want that. I don't want to be like less than $100 in my debit card.
Yeah.
So like, I'll mainly take less on a deal just so I can be comfortable in case I get into an accident or something, an emergency. I need like cash on me or I need money in my account. So like, yeah, like it's happened, but now like I'm willing to take a lot less because I just have so much volume. Like, so I don't have that luxury of holding cash. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't hold anything on my shoes. The only shoe I hold is my Travis Scott lows that I paid $142 like last summer, which was retail. Hit off sneakers right now. The shoes at $950 on StockX. Last time I checked, so I'm waiting another year and see where they're at. That's the only thing I would ever hold. Like
you're planning on holding it for a whole nother year?
Probably. Yeah, they're already at $950. It could sell now, make what, 7 to 8.
Yeah, that's good. And another thing is like a ton, like so many people hate selling on StockX because a lot of people will undercut, meaning that they'll just like put their price $1 lower than yours and it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going down. And people hate selling on StockX because there's so much of that. And one thing that I want to say is that the reason I sell on StockX so much is because I can't find a buyer elsewhere. So if no one else is going to, like StockX is not my first resort. My first resort is Instagram and OfferUp because there's no fees. But when I list on StockX, they sell like pretty quickly. And when I list on GOAT is a very like buyer heavy app. Like there's a lot of buyers on there. So the prices are always higher than StockX for the most part, which is why I have no problem listing. Like all those golf LaFleurs that I think I got like 8 to 10 pairs. And I was trying to sell them on Instagram for like $90 to $100. And I've sold 4 pairs on GOAT or Grailed, all for like $120 to $140. And like the fact is that they're just paying more. And so like I feel like GOAT is about to take over the game, especially with this whole Supreme thing, because if they have more buyers or if they have better paying buyers which is translating to more cash for the sellers, and they're adding more items that they didn't have before because their main competitor is StockX, and they didn't have Supreme. They didn't have the Supreme that StockX did, but now they do.
And their fees are significantly lower, I believe. So
For GOAT,
yeah,
they're pretty much. I think they're the same.
really.
Well, it depends on what level you're
I
at.
still think people prefer Goat.
Oh, the store credit thing too. So StockX and GOAT, I believe, charge 9.5% when you first start out. When you sell more through the app, your commission on StockX goes down. On GOAT, your commission doesn't go down, but you get like more benefits if you get more in other ways. But StockX charges a 3% fee to get that money into your PayPal like in cash. It's what everybody has to do. It's like the same PayPal fee, the 3% fee they have to pay in goods and services in order to get that money as cash that you can actually use. GOAT won't charge you. Oh, this is the thing about the payout thing is that GOAT doesn't charge you that 3% off the bat. They give you store credit. So they're not charging you 12.5%. They're charging you the 9.5% plus like a $5 flat rate, but they give you GOAT credit. So you can choose to cash out that GOAT credit in cash and then you pay the 3% fee. But that's another reason why I think GOAT is going to start killing it, because the fact that they're giving you GOAT credit and they're saving you 3%, they're using it as an incentive for you to put it back into their app, which just leads to more sales and more.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of it can be a cycle of people buying a pair of used shoes on GOAT, flipping that on GOAT. Someone else buys it, keeps that money, flips that on GOAT. Because it's just a cycle, because a lot of people post steals, and you're going to go and grab that and then flip it on GOAT again. And
I try to keep my GOAT credit in GOAT as long as I can. If I need it, I'll cash it out. But it's like, why would I? Like the other day, I cashed out $206 and I got $200 in my PayPal. I lost $6. That's not really a huge deal, but like I could have used that $6 for a purchase on GOAT, you know? But it's a matter of like, are you going to buy on GOAT? Like, can you find something? You can always find something. It's just like, that's not really what, like GOAT hunting is not like what I do.
But I agree that GOAT is probably going to take over StockX now. With adding Supreme is probably just nail in the coffin. A lot of people are hating on StockX right now.
Also, the verification center at GOAT is notoriously. I don't know what the word is.
Notorious.
They're notorious for being better than StockX. StockX is known for passing a lot of fakes. I personally have not dealt with
I have gotten not fakes but used shoes through StockX.
Oh, that's right. When they
Multiple
sold Revenge
times.
Storms.
Yeah, no, multiple times.
What was the other time?
I don't even know. But the Revenge Storms was the worst. They had stains on the soles. They had dirt on the soles. The box was damaged. I was mad. And they don't refund you. They don't do anything. They just give you a discount for StockX.
That's true. Yeah, GOAT's verification center is a lot more on point. I don't think anyone's ever had problems with GOAT, or like at least.
I mean, they definitely have. But not as often.
Not as often.
You don't see GOAT. The Instagram's dedicated to exposing GOAT. There's only Instagrams exposing StockX.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys pretty much like talk about everything for the most part. Like, I never had any issues from GOAT or StockX. Like, I bought something on StockX. Like, the shoe turned out like legit. Like there was no issues, no box damage. Soles are fine. I sold on GOAT for like plenty of times, never had an issue. Like, there's some stuff that's like come up on my bad. Like one time I shipped out a shoe that's the wrong size. Like, that's on me. I'll take the L on that. But like, pretty much been.
Did you get the money
from GOAT?
They shipped it back to you, or it went through?
It just happened like recently. Like those multicolored mids that came out. I had like 10 pairs of those and I accidentally shipped out the wrong size. They said you can either like list it on the app, like we'll keep it at the GOAT facility, or we'll ship it back to you for like $10.
Yeah, GOAT does it better. GOAT is a good, like StockX doesn't really give you a chance. They just say we're shipping it back. GOAT gives you some options, because that's the other thing about GOAT is that you can sell new. Like StockX is only new, like perfect condition. GOAT, you can buy new. You can buy new with defects. You can buy used. Or like, they have literally everything. Like GOAT is. StockX needs to be more like GOAT, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And when until that happens, GOAT is gonna take over this whole thing. Can we invest in GOAT? Is GOAT public? Can we like buy a GOAT stock?
I doubt it's public.
That'd be a smart move right now. But I don't know.
Are we talking about sleepers now?
Let's talk about. I want to hop into Q&A before
Okay.
we talk into because sleeper is kind of like the topic of good investments, or is similar to that. But Q&A, some questions that I get or I've gotten recently. We talked about platforms, what other platforms we use outside of Instagram. That was one. Another one is how much profit do you go for? I've recently developed this kind of rule of thumb that I've shared with Mason. I think he agrees, where I won't invest in something unless I think I can get a 20% return on investment.
At least.
At least 20%. If it's under 50, Brian's giving me the eyebrows like, whoa. But like if it's under $50, if it's $50 or under, I'm trying to make $10 flat. If it's over, I'm trying to aim for 20%. That 20% doesn't always happen. Like if I buy, like what I'm saying is if I buy a shoe for 200, I'm trying to, like, I won't buy it unless I think I can get at least 240. A lot of times, like, I'll just end up selling it for like 210 or 220 or something because it doesn't work out. But I'm not gonna buy shoes for $200 to intend to get 210. I just think that those margins are too small. If Brian's giving, he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you think profit is profit, it doesn't matter what? Or
Dude, okay. So let me tell you how much I made last month and this month alone. Okay. So when malls opened up for me back in SoCal, LA County, Shoe House was the first store that opened up because of the corona, right? They opened up like the first or second week of May. The first release that opened was the Royal Toes, right? So I think we're looking like early May. So like let's just say Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? So let's just say first week. When the malls opened up, like the storefront shoe houses, I was able to cop a bunch of Jordan 1 lows, right? And retail on that's $100 flat with tax, right? And sometimes some of the profit will be $10, $8, $9. However, when I have like $4,000 in cash, for the past 3 months, there's no big releases. I'm going to be using all that cash to make those $10 because I can just buy multiple pairs. So each shoe palace trip I'm making 40 to $50, right? Yeah, it's $10 or 10% on each shoe, but for every shoe palace I'm going to, I'm making $50. So in a day, I'm able to make 200. Yeah, I'm making $10 on each shoe, but I can make 200 in a day. Like, why would you not want to do that? And then you get the cash back within a week, depending on when you ship and how long it takes. You just keep using that money and reinvesting. Like this month alone, I've made already 1,000. Last month I made 2,000, which is profit, just pure profit. That's all those little break because they add up. And you just keep doing it every day and every day till you run out of cash and credit, and then you're straight. And you just keep getting that money and so on, just keep building.
And again, it's like, it's all about, I think it comes down to like what platforms are you using? Like, do you know your clientele? Like, will your clientele buy bricks? And if they do, that's a great move to make. But me and Mason, we bought Jordan 1 lows too. I forgot how many we bought. We didn't buy it.
You bought a lot more than me.
I've talked about it recently. Like the fact that me and Bryan have talked about it too. The fact that I don't have a credit card is, if I get a credit card, is game changing because right now I'm only working with whatever cash I have on hand. So Brian's over here talking about getting like 10 pairs of lows, like each shoe palace trip. I think I probably got like 6. I think me and you probably got like 6 or 7 pairs total. Yeah. But what I'm saying is like we paid 100 for those each, also like 98 to 100, but we intended to sell them for at least 120. So like our intended profit margin, while different than Brian's, we still think that they're good investments. Brian's just, this is what I was talking about earlier too, is like Brian's more willing to get that $8 to $10 profit, where I'm trying to push for double that. It might take me longer. Might not be a good move because I could take that 110 and reinvest it in something else, get another $10 maybe faster than I could sell it for 120 straight up. But what I'm saying is like if I buy like a pair of UNC Off-White ones for like $900, $1,000, I don't want to buy it if I'm gonna intend to make $50 off of it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And like you said, like if you want to add up, like brick flips gives you lunch money, and lunch money adds up. And I'm not saying that, like, it's just personally, like, time is money. Nico taught me this. Nico taught me time is money. He told that to me one time, and I was like, that's big facts. So for me to,
well, because you also have to consider how much time you're spending selling these shoes.
Yeah, like, and how much time are you going to be out of this $100?
Yeah,
you know, $100 might not be that much, but that's just my personal opinion. Bryan has another one. I'm not saying that, like, I respect Bryan's opinion. Like, I would do the same thing, honestly, because it's like, if I'm able to buy 10 pairs of lows, that's like minimum $100 profit, and you can target more too. But like $100 in a day is pretty good. $200 a day is pretty good.
Yeah.
But if I'm not sure, like if I'm only buying one item, you know.
Well, that's another thing. When you're buying one item, a lot of the times we go after just one of each because we like selling in variety for our Instagram. We like selling lots of shoes of different kinds on our Instagram. I don't know what Bryan does because it sounds like he just likes getting the straight profit. But what we do is we like getting different sizes, different colorways, and that's another thing. It's either it. I mean, it could make it harder to get more money, but you also got to consider like the extra views and whatnot.
Yeah, for me, like, I can see like, yeah, like, why spend 1,000 and only make 100? But for me, it's like when the malls were still closed, so it was just shoe house storefronts. That was the only thing I had to make money in regards to shoes. I wasn't hitting on sneakers. I still haven't hit on sneakers since February, the UNC Chicago women's. Bro, it's been like 4 months I haven't hit. I've been doing every entry and I still haven't hit. So this is my only way to make money regarding shoes because I don't buy on Instagram. I just stopped. You know what I mean? So like that for me, that was my only way to make money. Plus it's safer than IG because if you can't sell it, you just return it. So there's no way of losing money on a brand new shoe you buy at a store because you can just return it. You can always break even. And like for me, like the whole value of your time, for me, like right now when school's over, if I'm not doing anything today, I really don't value my time as much because like I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like for example, like I'm willing to camp out to make $30 because I'm not doing anything with my time. Why sleep when you can make money? You know?
Yeah.
Like for example, like I camped out for like 3 hours to make $30. Like for me, that's way worth it. Like I'm not doing anything with my time. Like at 8 a.m, might as well just like go wait in front of the mall for a store, and then just make $30. That's easy. You start your day off strong, and then there's other ways to make money. Like you can do Instacart, Postmates, stuff like that. Like start off strong, you know.
Yeah, and that's why I want to have more guests on here. So again, I'm reaching out to everybody listening. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, please reach out to us. You don't have to be an Instagram. You don't have to be a reseller at all. Just like having other people's opinions like this is awesome. There's really, in terms of reselling, I don't think there's like a wrong way to do it. As long as you're not, the only wrong way to do it is if you're losing money. And neither of us, LALB Sneakers or M&M Resell, is currently losing money, right?
Yeah, I'm not losing money yet.
Okay. But I mean, like, you just gotta know, like, it takes a while to know your following and know what you can, like, what you're good at, like what works for you. You know?
Another thing is if you guys have questions for these Q&As that we're doing right now, let us know. If you have a specific question, we could shout you out saying who's asking this question. It's another thing.
Yeah, I should have saved who reached out to us for these, but I forgot. But that's it. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. What people like to hear. I think I got good feedback on this.
No, I think they like hearing about the specific shoes.
Yeah, so specific shoes. So let's start with sleepers. So I define sleepers as either shoes that are still sitting on shelves in stores that you could be making a profit on, or shoes that are sitting on shelves that you personally believe should sell out already. And there's one that I want to talk about today that I saw in Shoe Palace the other day, and it was like the new Jordan 1 Shadow Lows. I didn't even know it came out. These aren't the black and
those are absolute trash.
You know what I'm talking about? Not the black and gray ones. The black, white, and gray ones.
I've seen those Shoe Palace. Like, don't even bother with those. I mean,
no, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they're not selling. Like, you can't really make a profit on them right now. But I personally think that they should have sold out.
Dude, they're ugly.
I think they're too nice. I think they're too nice. I think
they're ugly too. I think the 2015 kind is way better, and people are going to compare the two.
Just the straight up black and gray. Because like personally, I like white. I like having a little bit of more white in my shoes. I don't like all black, and I don't like
those are trash.
Black and dark gray. There's not really much to be said about them. I just want to put them on people's radar. Like if you see them, like you like them, like this might be one where like once it sells out, the price might go up because I like it.
But that's what the Shadow is just black and gray. You know?
Alright, true. I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, I mean, we can all have our personal opinions on these, but I just saw him in. I just saw him, dude. I just saw him in stores, and I was like, these are kind of nice. Why are they sitting here? Same thing with like the Chicago lows. There's just the red and white ones. I'm not a huge fan of those, but like, I'm surprised that those are still sitting in stores.
I like the Chicago mids. but
the
I
mids
would
are
never buy them.
The black toe, like the black.
There's the
Chicago
2020
toe.
version, and there's the
Oh, yeah.
2019
Yeah, the
version.
2020 Chicago toe mids.
Yeah, those are, if you find those in stores, those are good, like $20 to $30 profit, I think, depending on where
Well,
you
you
live,
get-
depending on tax.
You pay $115 after fees, and you can probably flip for $130.
Yeah, if you live in, the thing is too, like if you live in California, reselling is harder because like people in New Jersey, I get steals off like people in New Jersey or like Oregon because there's no tax, so they have more room for profit.
That's facts.
They're saving an extra $20 on Yeezy tax. They don't have to pay.
That's so huge, bro. $20 on Easy Tax.
I bought Yeezys off some guy for like $230 because he wanted to break even, and I was like, "You're breaking even at like that's still under retail for me."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but that's a whole another interesting thing. I like is tax. So whenever if I go to Oregon or Hawaii, I do a ton of buying over there because I'm saving. Just leave the fork. The fork has fallen off the chair so many times. Just leave it on the ground. That's really the only sleeper that I want to talk about. We can talk about like other ones if we have more time, but I want to get into some good investments, some things that I think will be good investments. One of them is more recent. Two of them are a little bit older. One of them's really old. Let's start with the really old one, the What the Fours. I personally won't stop talking about these because I think they look dope, and this was like my first investment prediction that was actually correct. I don't usually do like up until recently I've just been doing quick flips. I don't really think about prices going up and stuff, but I've started to think about that. And when did the What the Fours release? Yeah, 2018. Yeah, like late 2019, right? And so I bought. So they were sitting. They were sitting. They were sleepers, and I bought I think 2 pairs in March, when I did my sneaker collection video on YouTube, and I talked about it a little bit. And I bought them for like $150 to $160 each because I used like the Foot Locker code, the 25% off code to get 25% off $200. And I was like, this is from what I saw, I was like, too many people are wearing these. This is too nice of a shoe for it to be sitting at under retail for too long. And then with that when that 25% off code came out, everybody went ham because at that time it was going for like $165. So you could pretty much get it for market value. And then it sold out, and then it jumped up to like $200 in the next week. And so that was in March, and it's currently the middle of June, and they're sitting pretty at about $240 to $270 depending on size. And since I've bought those since it shot up, we've gotten 3 more. I've gotten 4 more. As M&M Resale, as a team, we've gotten 4 more pairs. And the least I've made on these is like $70. I made 70 on one. I made 110 on another.
Dang.
And we still have a couple other for sale. So if you're trying to buy those, hit us up, M&M Resale on Instagram.
But, yeah, I'm surprised they shot up.
Those are
like,
nice.
I remember when they came out, they were like, people weren't picking up their pairs. I was like, okay, like they're definitely like bricked, and they shot down to 150 at like the lowest I've ever seen them on StockX, and now they're like 250, depending on some size, like 280, 270. I'm like, damn, like these are fucking sleepers. Like, I still don't think the shoes are nice. I think it's still an average looking Jordan. Like, it's not ugly, which is it's not nice looking. There's just better ways to spend your $220 to wear, you know.
Yeah, and I just think like it's a what though. So you're taking like the best like the combinations of the arguably the best Jordan 4. So you can see aspects of the white cements in there. You can see aspects of the breads, the militaries. It's pretty much just like a blue, red, cement, black, and white shoe, and it's just like I think it's dope.
I like it. I would keep for personal.
You would keep for personal.
Yeah.
I don't wear Jordan. I can't wear Jordan. I have 1 pair of Jordan retros, and I just don't think that Jordans look good on me. But I don't know. I'm just like the reason I can't stop talking about this is because this was like the first investment prediction that actually went right for me. All the other ones are like really slow or just dead wrong.
Are you holding any ones right now?
Yes.
I got core purples right now.
I sold
Size
one. I sold
8.5.
one of my core purples, and I'm holding a royal toe right now.
In my opinion, when it comes to holding royal toes, I think it's a better hold than a core purple because core purple has been out for 2 to 3 months and they still haven't shot up. Whereas royal toes, when they came out, they were at 3. They went to 240, and they shot back to 260, 270. So yeah, they
Mhm.
went up, but it's like for me, like I can easily make $20 on spending $66 on a shoe. Like there's a shoe that nobody knows about that I haven't told anybody. I can literally make $20 easier than some of these people. Like it's not even funny. So that's why I just like for me, I'd rather not hold like a $250 investment. Say you buy a roll toe from market, when I can literally spend
Yeah.
$66 and make that $20 within a day multiple times. I can literally make so much money a day if I wasn't limited by my cash or credit.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to go into the quick flips more than the holding.
I like the medium. I'm starting to like the medium flips where you hold for about 2 to 4
A
months.
month. Oh, 2 to 4 months.
Well, 4 months is probably like getting too much.
6 months would be like the max I'd want to hold my court purples.
Like I held my Travis Scott 6s for like 6 months,
I know that's what I was planning.
but they were just too low for me. They were just way too.
Did you
low.
pay retail for your Travis's or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I paid
that's
retail.
that's fine then. Yeah, paying retail. On a
And
Travis,
I waited for the Fortnite. I waited for the Fortnite concert and then I sold them.
How much you saw that?
It actually from the Fortnite concert to when I sold them, they went up $100, and I sold them like a week after the Fortnite concert, and it's gone up $100 since then. I sold it for $550. I didn't want to risk it going back down. There's a big wasp. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. But on the topic of Royal Toes, let's talk about Royal Toes because that was another one that's on my list that I wanted to talk about. And I think you were saying how like they're already doing better than the Court Purples, and the Court Purples have been out for a little longer, and they're still doing better than the Pine Greens also. And I think literally it just comes down to the fact that like the color red and the color blue are just very wearable, a lot easier to wear than green or purple. And I think that's why they're doing better. And the Royal Toe is not a bad looking shoe. Like when the Game Royals came out, I didn't like that one.
There's also a lot more hype around the blue colorways. The Royals from what was it, 2017?
Yeah.
And the Game Royals. There's been one Court Purple before this.
And like
the green shoes never work. Like Michael Jordan said himself that he hates green Jordans. So, but I mean, yeah, the Royal Toes were doing better from the Court Purples straight from the gates. So I'm just waiting for the Court Purples just to go up a little bit, and I'm ready to release.
And I think right now, like the Royal Toes are probably one of the safest investments if you're gonna try to buy at market and wait it out. I think Royal Toes are one of the really safe investments right now. I would have said Flints. We talked about this last podcast. I would have said Flints, but I've also heard that the stock numbers are pretty high, so I think it's going to take a while for the prices to shoot up because there's a big quantity of them out there. Royal Toes are, from what I understand, are just like the rest of them. They're like not overproduced, not underproduced, but so like you can probably easily get your hands on them for a good price, and it's not a bad investment. I give it to like the end of the summer probably.
I think
like
Royal Toes will
season.
shoot up over time because when Royal Toes came out, they came out during a pandemic. So the only stores I got them were Shoe Palace storefronts at all.
That's a good point too.
So like
That's
if you didn't camp out,
now that all the stores are closed.
Yeah, like I had to camp out for them. I made 100. I made 100 that next day. Like sold it over retail easily. So they came out like during a pandemic. People camped out. If you didn't win on sneakers, you weren't gonna win. They released like a Shoe Palaces through raffles or like first come first served at random times. So this wasn't an easy shoe to get. Like I've had 6 Royal Toes for retail. I sold 5 except one. Like right now, I have in my room trying to sell. So like I've had a bunch of Royal Toes where I've debated on like should I hold. Like I literally had a 7Y sold. I literally had an 8.5 sold. I'm just like I got market for it, so I'm just happy with what I got. I'm just gonna move on. Like I told you, like I'm able to make $20 off $60, bro. Like I'm not gonna hold a shoe for 2 months to make an extra 20. I can just use that money I made from the Royal Toe profit to buy more shoes. But that's just because I found like I figured it out. But other people, it's not. So I'd say Royal Toes are a good hold if you can get it for payout. But Court Purples, they're too stagnant right now. Like it's been 2 or 3 months and they still haven't shot up. So, and it's a summer shoe. It's summer. Like what are you waiting for? Type shit. Like shoot up already.
Yeah, like and about those like quick flips, I think one thing that I've said for a few months now is like I think the perfect time to sell anything is right after they drop online. If you have a pair in hand or you can get it in store, like the morning it releases, because after nobody can get it online, they start buying on the secondhand market, all the prices shoot up. And then once all the pairs come in from online, they go right back down because there's a big quantity available for sale in the public. But if you have a pair, but like basically the price goes up and then it goes back down when all the pairs come in. and it'll creep back up to that price that it peaked at over time. And that's what people are holding for. They want it to get to back to that price. But if you have it in hand and you can already sell it for that price the day of, I say do it. But the problem is when you order online, you can't sell it until you have it in hand. But like Bryan was saying, he camped out and he sold his pairs for like
100 over retail.
what, like 270, 280.
I sold it for technically 300. 187s with tax. I made 113 literally the morning.
And
of.
they're still.
It took
and
me an
they're
hour to
still
sell that
above
shoe,
that.
bro. Like it's if you can get the day of, sell it the day of. Why wait 4 months for it to shoot back up to 300? Right now they're at 260, 270. Why wait more months when you could have sold it at market like at 300? So if you can get a day of, just sell day of. Don't hold.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Travis, it's an Off-White, that's different. You know, then it's a gamble. That's smart to take. But if it's a normal Jordan
like
1,
when it's ultra hyped, like when it's like over $1,000, then it's like more of a thought process. Like, okay, do I want to hold it and wait for it to like triple in value? Like that's because that's a lot of bread. Like tripling in value when you buy like a pair of shoes for $100, that's like $200 profit. When you're buying a shoe for $1,000, that's $2,000 profit. That's like that's a whole nother game. I think that's a whole nother story too.
like the night before Royal Toes, like they were sitting at 240, 250 on like StockX, and like that's when I decided to camp out. I was camping out to make like $40 to $50, and then in the morning at 10 o'clock when they opened, they were at 300. So I was like, that's a smart like camp out, because most people wouldn't camp out for $50 during Corona, because this was like still beginning of May when Corona was still serious. Whereas now people just don't fucking care anymore, especially down here. It's just like, so yeah.
That's the other thing. I've found that like the prices are at a big low like the day before release, because people are just trying to get rid of their pairs. They think it's a good idea to get rid of their quote unreleased pairs. And then once nobody can get it, then they shoot up after the release, and then they go down while there's a lot of people trying to sell. Like everybody has them, they're all trying to sell it, so the market's competitive and it goes down. And then as people start wearing them, less new pairs become available on the markets, so then the price like tends to creep up. I feel like that's just like a very general idea of how like the shoe market works. It's just an idea of how long does it take, how steep are the inclines and declines, and that's where the experience comes in. But for the most part, any desirable shoe, that's what'll happen. And I have an early, Bryan was freaking out about this in my DMs a while ago. I have an early pair of the Yeezy 700 MNVN Bones that released in Europe, but they haven't released in the US yet, and they're supposed to release in July. And so my plan is to sell them like that morning in July, like right after they release, because I'm hoping that they're going to shoot up.
Yeah, you got to sell the day of the release right after the drop.
Yeah.
That's when everyone will buy.
My last shoe that I want to talk about just came out this Saturday. The top 3 Jordan 5s. Basically a What the 4, but for the Jordan 5 model. Very mixed emotions on this, I'm hearing from a lot of people. To give a quick recap, they're not going for too much over retail. They've actually probably dropped since they released. Probably like they retailed at $220 after tax in California. Screw California, it's $218, $220, and they're going for about $220 to $240. So I thought they were gonna go, like I just said, after they sell out, they're gonna go up on the secondhand market. These things did not move at all. They did not go up. Nobody wanted them.
They're ugly.
And guess what? Me and Kyle at Why Not Resell, go follow him on Instagram. Me and Kyle in total, I think, got like 9 pairs. Because I was like, oh, these are nice. Like they're gonna like, this is the What the 4 all over again. Like they're gonna go up. I thought there was gonna be a little bit of demand.
The grape toe ruined it.
Nothing.
Been a sick shoe.
The grape tongue.
The grape, sorry.
Yeah. Dude, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm a little heated, but like we were talking about before, lunch money. Hopefully lunch money.
Yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts? Like in terms of aesthetics and market trends, anything.
Okay.
It might be a hard flip, but yeah,
it's a nice shoe. Sure. It's a nicer shoe than What the 4. Everybody can agree on.
Wait,
retail's $220.
You think it's better than What the 4?
Easily, it's a better looking shoe than What the 4. And
all right, hit us in the DMs. We'll post on our Instagram. What do you think is better looking top 3? But, no, I think What the 4s are still okay. Another debate. We'll have that debate later.
Yeah, but for the top 3s, I literally had 5 pairs reserved. I could have gone 6 that morning. I decided not to pick any of them up. I was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I don't need to spend $220 to try to make at least $5, bro. Like fuck that. Like
Yeah. That's the good thing about having a raffle. And people are like, well, Mateo, why'd you buy so many pairs? It's because like you don't know how it's gonna do until it releases. So the safe thing to do is just buy it, and if it goes up, you keep it, and if it doesn't, then you cancel the order. But like, I don't like to cancel the order. I want to see these come in, and I want to at least try to sell a couple. I've already sold 2, and I'm making like $10 each, which is better than returning. But still, it's not really like.
I'm surprised you made money and just didn't break even. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely passed.
But like you said, offer up, like on offer up. Like when I get these in, I'm gonna try to sell it on offer up, and if I can't, then I'm just gonna return them. Like it's not a big deal. But I did think that they were gonna do a lot better. I think if you're willing to wait it out, and what I want to do, I'm waiting for the disclaimer on Foot Locker to go away that says excluded from discount. Once that says excluded from discount, I'm going to buy a pair of top 3 Jordan 5s for 25% off using whatever code I can find, whatever coupon code I can find. Get that for 160, and then I'll have a good profit margin on it.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm stuck with 6-7 pairs of my own. Kyle has I think 2. I mean I put a lot into this because I thought it was gonna be good, and
but I mean you can always return.
That's like because I'm buying from like Foot Locker and Nike, I can return it. But so the question, is it a good investment? How much of a good or bad investment is it?
I feel like if you can buy for under retail at a certain point, I think they'll shoot up over like 5 months. I feel like it'll be like another what the fours. But like I don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah, like people can wait on it if you want to, but I wouldn't wait on it. I can use my money way better.
It's not a classic colorway. Like it's not an original colorway, so people aren't going crazy for these on the release.
Yeah.
Like the Flints, like the Royal Toes aren't a classic colorway either, but the Jordan 1 is just too classic of a model to pass on anything nowadays. But the Jordan 5 is just like, you can see other Jordan 5 colorways sitting. Like you saw the Michigans, Fire Reds.
Yep.
Fire Reds should not be sitting, also in my opinion, but they made too many.
That's what it's like.
But like Bryan said, I think these are going to be another what the 4. We're going to see another what the 4 happen with the top 3 Jordan 5s. It's the same concept. You're combining, what did they combine? The Fire Red 5, the Black Metallic 5, and the Grape.
Yeah.
The Grape
they
5.
They combined the old Fire Red.
Yeah. I do like the 23 on the heel.
Yeah, the 23 is a good touch.
I don't like it when they do the 23, when they don't do the 23 on the Jordan 5s anymore. But so summary of the top 3 Jordan 5. A decent hold if you're willing to hold for a pretty long time. Also, I say any Jordan Retro, if you give it a year, is a good hold.
If you give any Jordan, if you give any release a year, they're going to shoot up, bro.
I just don't think that I want to hold for a year. Unless, like you said, it's like Off-White or Tribe. It's like a big collab. But
yeah.
So right now, if you have a pair of top 3 Jordan 5s and you don't mind holding for a good amount of time, I give it like 6.
Hold till Christmas.
Like Christmas season, everything's gonna go up at least a little bit, at least like $20. You know, It just makes sense. There's more buyers out there. But if you're looking for quick flips, it's not really the way to go. I think I'm probably gonna return some of my Jordan 5s
for much money.
I'll probably return like 1 or 2 if I need the cash quick, but I think I can get like $10 to $20. But again, that's not that 20% that I was hoping for. I was hoping to sell for like $240, $250.
Yeah.
But I might be able to sell 1 if somebody wants it like really bad. Because like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to buy it off StockX or on GOAT, you're going to have to spend like $260, $270. You could still save money. You'll be paying above market with me, but you're going to save money after taxes and fees and stuff. It's just hard to find people that actually want to pay that much.
Yeah, like paying 10 above retail you're not really taxing. That's pretty much fair.
Yeah. Unless you live in New Jersey or Oregon and you don't have tax, then you're paying $30 above retail. But we work with what we got. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about for today's podcast. We've gone an hour. That's pretty good. I was trying to stay within 40 minutes to an hour. So anything else you want to tell the people, Bryan? You want to link all your platforms?
Yeah, I guess. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at LA_LB_sneakers. That's my reselling page. I about have like 2,000 followers right now. just trying to get more sales, just more clientele, I guess, through Instagram. Just trying to like I guess expand my network. Basically, one last thing to add is like, guys, I'm telling you, quick flips. If you're an upcoming reseller, be okay with making $10 when you're spending like $100. When you add
At
up,
the
when
end
it
of the
adds
day,
up,
profit
bro,
is
you're gonna
profit.
get to my point where it's just like you're gonna be working with so much cash and capital that just it's gonna be better than just holding or trying to make that extra $20, waiting 2 weeks when you can get that cash sooner and stuff. But yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, profit is profit. It's just that 20% that I was talking about, that's just what I target. And it could be different for everybody, whatever's worth it to you. But I mean, if you're not losing money, then you're doing something right in my eyes. And even if, and like, you are going to lose money sometime. Like, I've lost money. Brian's probably lost money. Like, you just got to take it and move on to the next one.
That's right.
If you have any questions, if you guys have any questions on like how to resell better, how to be more efficient, if you're just learning, you have any questions on investments that you want to see, if you want to hear us talk about certain things, you have questions, ask us about our business, our personal lives, anything.
Submit Q&As. We'll shout you out.
Yep.
Check out Eminem Resell on Instagram.
Yep.
We got a new YouTube video for Mateo Dominguez. Is that your name?
Yeah,
On YouTube?
Mateo Dominguez. It's also linked on our Instagram.
And I don't know when this is going to be released, but we're doing a big story sale on Thursday. Maybe we'll have some leftover stock, so make sure you check it out.
That would be Thursday, June 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Grailed. My Grailed and my bump is Eminem Resell. I think Mason is Mason Elephant. But if you want to follow us on there too, try to find us on OfferUp, get us some OfferUp sales. If you have any questions about college, I have like a lot of like resellers that are like late in high school and they like ask me about like Long Beach, and I'm pretty sure me and Brian would be more than willing to answer any of your questions. Or if you're going to Long Beach, I'm totally down to meet up with you. That's how I met Brian. We had Panda. I met Brian over
same,
Panda.
bro. Like,
that was lit.
dude, Mateo just was ballsy. Like, I wasn't weirded out with meeting Mateo, but I'm just like,
I made my move.
when
I
you're,
shot my
honestly, bro,
shot.
when you're in college, man, like, be more open to meet new people on the weirdest or like most unnatural ways, because you never know who that person could be and how they could affect your life.
Yep. All right. So yeah, anything else you guys have for us, hit us in the DMs. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. If you get to this now, earlier I told you to say something about PayPal.
Goods and services.
Yeah. If you get to this part, DM us. Zelle is king. Then we know that you actually listened to the entire podcast, and you'll be a real homie. I might give you a little something for getting to this point, but we'll see about that. So thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate all the support that we've been getting. Signing off. I'm Mateo,
This is Mason.
And I'm Brian.
Thanks for listening.
and we'll catch you guys in the next one.